Janabalaba Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Balava Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Balava Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Prabhukajarastarasi Shimad. His Divine Grace Srila Asa Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Prabhukajarastarasi Shimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Thakur Bhakti Vinod Ki Jai. Sri Guru Parampara Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sadhu Sangha Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glory to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Prijana Sehitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate Gopesha Govika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Brindavaneshwari Rishavana Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Paditanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jai. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentary Srila Prabhupada. Today's verse is 32, I believe. Correct. Contents of the Gita summarized, which is the second chapter. So, 32. Yes. Okay. Please repeat. Yadrichaya Kopapanam Swagadwaram Apavritam Sukhinaha Kshatriyaha Patha Labhante Yudham Idrisham Yadrishi Chaya Kopapanam Sarvadvaram Apavritam Sukhina Kshatriya Patha Labhante Yudam Idrisham Yadrishi Chaya Kopapanam Swagadvaram Apavritam Sukhina Kshatriya Patha Labhyante Yudam Idrisham Yadrishi Chaya Kopapanam Swargadwaram Apavritam Sukhina Kshatriya Patha Labhyante Yudam Idrisham. Okay, go ahead.
Yadrichaya Chaupapannam Sargadwaram Apavitam Sukhina Kshatriya Partha Lavante Yuddhamidrisham Yadrichaya Chaupapannam Sargadwaram Apavitam Sukhina Kshatriya Partha Lavante Yuddhamidrisham Yadrichaya Chaupapannam
Pannam. Okay, word for word. Please repeat. Yadrichaya, by its own accord. Cha, also. Upapannam, arrived at. Swarga, of the heavenly planets. Dwaram, door. Apavritam, wide open. Sukhinaha, very happy. Kshatriyaha, the members of the royal order. Partha, O son of Pritha. Labante, do achieve. Yudham, war. Idrisham, like this. So, translation Srila Prabhupada. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. Please repeat. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. Purport Srila Prabhupada. As Supreme Teacher of the world, Lord Krishna condemns the attitude of Arjuna, who said, I do not find any good in this fighting. It will cause perpetual habitation in hell. Such statements by Arjuna were due to ignorance only. He wanted to become non-violent in the discharge of his specific duty. For a Kshatriya to be on the battlefield and become non-violent is the philosophy of fools. In the Parashara Smriti, or religious codes made by Parashara, the great sage and father of Vyasadeva, it is stated, Kshatriyo hi pragya grajyam shastrapani pradandayam nijitya para saintyadi shittim dharmena palayet. The Kshatriya's duty is to protect the citizens from all kinds of difficulties, and for that reason he has to apply violence in suitable cases for law and order. Therefore he has to conquer the soldiers of inimical kings, and thus with religious principles he should rule over the world. That's interesting. Considering all aspects, Arjuna had no reason to refrain from fighting. If he could conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom, and if he should die in the battle, he would be elevated to the heavenly planets, whose doors were wide open to him. Fighting would be for his benefit in either case. Yes. Mukam karochi vachalam pangam laite girim yat kripa tamam bande Sri Gurun dinadarinam yadrishi chaya kopa pangnam sargadwaram apavritam sukhina chatriya patha labante yudam idrisham. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. So Srila Prabhupada has explained everything very nicely. Krishna has now come to the end of explaining the soul, right? If you remember, as we discussed many times before, and as Prabhupada points out, Arjuna was on the material platform, As it says here in the purport, he was in ignorance. This, of course, is Yoga Maya. This is to bring out the truth. And the truth is, the difference is, that we are spirit souls. We are not this material body. We are spirit soul. And being part and parcel of Krishna, the spirit soul is Angsa of Krishna. Our real morality is not to this material world, but our real duty is towards Krishna. So Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and as it is explained here by Parashara, that is the thought of the Kshatriya. The Kshatriya mode of passion, type of person in a Ishvara Bhav, he is meant to be restrained by a sense of duty, not by a sense of exploitation. In the modern world we see, right, that when people get into governmental role, there is a tendency to financially and whatever, violently exploit the praja, the people. But in the Vedic system, the Kshatriya is educated in his spiritual duty. And that with this realization, he is less likely to exploit his position materially. Because once spiritual realization takes place, it's never lost. It may be covered, but that spiritual realization drives the spirit soul. It makes him consider it's not an ephemeral thing, the spiritual realization. It is not on the mental platform. It is a very direct experience that I am a spirit soul. I am not this material body. This material world is a temporary manifestation. This body is a temporary manifestation. My real nature is spiritual. So that realization is not difficult, because we are spirit souls. But it is difficult if the instruction is not there, because the Maya Shakti will convince us that we are this material body, and that our sense of obligation, which is coming from the soul, our sense of morality, should be applied to the material world, even exclusively. We become forgetful of any spiritual duty, because we have not touched the soul. We have just been bahirmukh. We have been entangled in the external world. But with the instruction of a guru, a spiritual master, not just Kshatriyas, but everyone from every station of life can realize, yes, I am not this material body. I am spirit soul. And so this is what Krishna has given to Arjuna, and thereby us, just before this section. Arjuna was talking about, I don't want to kill, I don't want to do my duty, I'll go to hell if I do this. This was all based on material conceptions. But now, through the good instruction of his guru, Krishna, teacher, he surrendered to Krishna. Please instruct me, I'm confused about my duty. Now because he's surrendered to a qualified personality, the instructions of that spiritual personality is waking up his spiritual understanding. And therefore, he is beginning to see things from that spiritual platform, and he's starting to see that actually my obligation is not to even family and friends, But my obligation, my primary obligation, is to the Supreme Lord. So, because we are spirit souls, this realization is personal. It is direct. In the Uddhava Gita, there is an explanation that when Krishna is teaching Uddhava, he explains that ultimately we take to spiritual life, we take to Krishna consciousness, spiritual endeavor, because we see its validity in a personal experience. And it explains there, if I remember correctly, that just like a hungry man, the human being is hungry for knowledge. It is the nature of the human being that he wants to attain knowledge. So a hungry man goes to a restaurant and he finds three things. If it's a good restaurant, his hunger is satisfied. He feels satisfaction within, pleasure from the nice foodstuffs, and he gains energy. So that example, that analogy is there, that if we take to spiritual life properly guided with proper knowledge from a qualified person, we will also find that our hunger for knowledge is being satisfied. I think you're all devotees, you know this personally. Oh yes, Bhagavad Gita. And this, like I said, my friend there from Bristol, everyone, this spiritual knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is for everyone worldwide, because everybody is a spirit soul. This point was always said by Prabhupada. Oh, if you look in the dictionary, you will see Krishna, a Hindu god. But no, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is Purushottam, the Supreme Person. And that is realization. That can be realized by everyone in the world. Not only just Bhuloka, but the whole universe. But they have to perform tapa, the tapasya, given by a qualified spiritual master. They have to do the sadhana. So in Kali Yuga, particularly stressing, particularly empowered is the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just before class I was sitting in the temple there under the tree, and you can see everyone is the blissful atmosphere because the kirtan is going on. So they're all directly feeling this realization. And so Krishna consciousness, by grace of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, Lord Chaitanya, is spreading in the world. Now people understand yoga, meditation, Guru, so on and so forth. And not only that, they're understanding spiritual life correctly. They're not thinking, I am God, but they're understanding that I am the servant of the servant of the servant of God. So the Mayavadi impersonalist idea, I am God, you are God, we are all God, that is fading away in India. I first came to India in 1973. And that was the idea that was very strong. And when Prabhupada used to tell in his lectures and his books, there is a time when devotees asked, Prabhupada, why are you always talking about impersonalism and Mayavadi ideas? You understand? Prabhupada answered, because you are all impersonalists. You are all in this conception that everything is just impersonal energy. I am impersonal energy somehow or other. And therefore, this situation, I should act accordingly. But Prabhupada established Krishna as Purushottam, the Supreme Person. Apariyamitasthanyam prakritim vidime param. And that the living entity is the same quality as Krishna eternally, but he is the servant of Krishna. He is not the Supreme Lord. Now, when we hear that, same point as before, we can easily understand that actually. Now, in those days, people were taking LSD and maybe smoking too much hashish. So when you're in an intoxicated state, you might in a fantasy think, I am God, we are God, we are all God. All you need is love. Right, like these pop songs. So there were many Mayavadi gurus spreading this nonsense. But Prabhupada came and he said, no, you are not God. You are servant of God in very direct, clear way. And so that is the potency of spiritual knowledge, that it cuts through the darkness of material concoction. So the world in Kali Yuga has this, not only just in Kali Yuga, but the conditioned souls, they remain in this world because they think, I am the Supreme, whether they consciously think it or not. But they have this conception within themselves, or that is coming out, and they think, I am the most important person. I have a family and friends, but my opinion is the best. This is the two subtle coverings of the Maya Shakti. One is called Avaranatmika Buddhi. It means the covering potency. The other is called Prasatmika Buddhi. Prasatmika Buddhi means that when we come to the material energy and we try to enjoy it, control and enjoy it, in forgetfulness that it belongs to the Supreme Lord, then the material energy, prasatmik, it throws us into different conceptions. So therefore, there are so many philosophical conceptions. Marxism, socialism, national socialism, this ism, feminism, masculinism, this, so many, and people are absorbed in these ideas. But Avaranatmika Buddhi means that the person is covered, and that means he thinks that my opinion is correct. So he's not only getting a false, illusory understanding of the material world, but accompanying it at the same time, he's thinking, I'm right and everybody else is wrong. And then there is that Atmavan Manyate Jagat. As a man is, he sees the world. According to his conceptions, he analyzes the world. So unconsciously, whether it's consciously or not, he is thinking his opinion is the greatest, I'm the greatest. And this is common not just in human species, but like the lions and the tiger. I'm a lion, you're a lioness, this is my territory. I'm going to kill those lions that try to come here. This is my land, we don't like you, you're from a different group, you're this and that. So everyone in this way has this conception. So, but the way out of this illusion is a more powerful source of knowledge. Now, Prabhupada in some points explains, some places I remember reading, he says, because the material energy, gross and subtle, is an emanation from the absolute truth, it has a potency to convince. So therefore, if you study Marxism, it starts to sound, there's some sense in that. If you study another philosophy, like nowadays, women are bombarded with feminism. be a working girl, work on yourself. Don't serve your husband, he's exploiting you. So if you listen to that, it sounds to be correct after a while, right? If you mix with the Bristol City football supporters, they will tell you Bristol City is the best team in the world. You should support them. Forget about Real Madrid or Barcelona. They're just paying the referees. And they are winning because the referees are helping them. Bristol City is the real team. Oh, I'll drink to that. So in this way, everyone is convinced about their opinion. So Arjuna is illustrating that first. But Krishna has used a higher potency than the material potency. The material potency has that ability to convince us, like I say. It has the ability to, there's something in it, because it is from the absolute truth. It is not disconnected from Vasudeva Savamiti. So, just like it is explained, what param drisvani nivartate, we all have a taste for enjoyment, but how do you give up that taste, this philosophy of materialism, by getting something higher? Just like darkness is dispelled by one candle, right? It doesn't matter if this room was enclosed, if it was dark for 1,000,000 years, with one candle, that 1,000,000 years of darkness can go. So, in these 30 slokas before this, Krishna has completely reached into Arjuna. And he has explained, you're not the body, and you are judging everything on the bodily basis. You are spirit soul. And now, in this section here, he is starting to move Arjuna. Okay, now Arjuna, you're not a spirit soul. Now you must understand that you must act as a spirit soul. You mustn't just think, okay, I'm a spirit soul, therefore I will just sit idly by. You must act as a spirit soul. And there is one very important verse here. Krishna will explain this. This is called karma yoga, that you have a work, you have a duty, Arjuna, as a Kshatriya to fight. And he makes the point that Kshatriyas like this fight, because if they do their duty, they will be elevated even if they die. They will become glorious for sacrificing for a good cause. And there's a quote there from Parashara Muni. So Krishna is giving Arjuna motivation. You're spirit soul, but he's still saying, now this is your profit if you fight. But now you're all devotees. As we discussed last week, the real consciousness of a devotee is that he is acting for the Supreme without consideration of profit or loss. Later on we will find Yes, here it is, 38. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, that means do your duty, without considering happiness and distress, without considering the result, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing you shall never incur pap, sin. So this is higher. At the beginning, and in the next few verses, he says to Arjuna, look, you lose a good name. You lose the chance of going to the heavenly planets. But then he brings this point. Just do your duty without considering whether you lose or gain or you lost or whatever. Just do it. So this is karma yoga, nice karma yoga. So this point will be developed. And at the start of chapter 6, Anashrita karma phalam, karyam karma karoti yaha sasanyasisa yogacha naraya chakrinaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work, his karya, that means his duty, karma, karyam karma. Later on we will find that the human being has 3 karyas, right? Yagya, dharna, tapasya. That you should perform sacrifice, penance and austerity as a human being. This is a karya. We should be giving in sacrifice to the Supreme Lord. We should be performing dhan, and we should be performing tapa. One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no work. Later on, Krishna will also say, Arjuna, armed with yoga, stand and fight. So yoga, the preliminary step of union with the Supreme, is through spiritual knowledge. When we gain spiritual knowledge, it dispels the illusory ideas, and we start to realize our relationship with the Supreme Lord. Maybe in a very small way, but in a growing way. And then, I'm going to act for the Supreme. This dispels the lower conception. I'm going to act for myself, for my family, my country. I must act for the Supreme. So before Krishna talks about Jnana Yoga, Astanga Yoga in chapter 6, he tells Arjuna, just to remind him, those that are unattached to the fruits of his work. So this is vairag. Vairag means that I work as I am obligated. I am doing my duty as I am obligated. Obligated by my spiritual understanding, my duty to Guru, to Shastra, to Acharya, to Sampradaya. I'm obligated, just like a devotee. He takes Diksha, and now he's obligated to the spiritual master. It's not that he can just forget it, no. I took Diksha, I promised the spiritual master to develop Siddhanta, to develop a pure life, to chant the holy name, and to apply myself in endeavor to learn and to realize the Supreme Lord. So this is not, this is the duty, you understand? It is not something that is put aside. It is the duty. If you receive knowledge of spiritual plane, of the spiritual world of Krishna, it carries with a duty. You have to act accordingly. So Krishna says here, as he is obligated. So we're obligated to the spiritual master, to the acharyas, to Vedavyas, to the Sad Goswami, to Gaunitai, because they have acted to give us this spiritual knowledge, is in the renounced order of life. So that means, vairag means that you are acting because of your spiritual duty, but you're not considering the result. But why are you acting that way? You're acting that way, you're motivated by a spiritual motivation. In the material world, people are materially motivated. For me, my family, my country, I'm acting. But in the spiritual consciousness, we have motivation. But the motivation is based out of our obligation for the sadhaka. I am obliged to act for the spiritual master. And so we see this in the life of Srila Prabhupada. He went to America because he was obligated. His spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, said, you're a learned man, you teach, spread Krishna consciousness in the world environment, translate books to English, give the knowledge worldwide. So that is the obligation of a devotee. The obligation is to the sadhus, to the shastra, to the guru, to propagate this knowledge. And that he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty, which is the impersonalist or voidistic idea. And that is based on the idea that it's all illusion. So why I should do my duty? It's only I am Brahman and I am truth, and this material world is illusion. So it doesn't really matter if the road is clean or dirty, if I tell the truth or I lie or I steal or do this, because it's all illusion. One illusion of truth is, to be a good citizen, but then it's also an illusion to be a criminal. So I renounce everything and I just want to do nothing except imagine myself as the supreme. So this is why Srila Prabhupada not only countered materialism, but impersonalism. The spiritual knowledge is that yes, the material world is illusion, but it is illusion because it's temporary. It's not illusion because it's non-existent. It is existing, but it is temporary. So this knowledge, Prabhupada expounds in his books, just like Krishna is expounding it to Arjuna now. He's giving him the real understanding of reality. So then the next point is, okay, now I'm starting to understand that I am the Gopi Bhata Kamalayo Dasa Dasana Das. So now what is my obligation with this understanding? What is my duty? Just like Parikshit Maharaj, he knew I'm going to die in 7 days, right? So that was one of the questions asked to Sukadev Goswami. What is the duty of somebody who's going to leave this world? Ante Narayana Smriti. Your duty is to remember Narayan. So this immersion in remembrance, manmana bhavamad bhakto, always remember me in a devotional way. Madhyaji, do everything as an offering to me. Mam namaskaru, pay your obeisances to me in the heart of all living entities. This is our obligation from this knowledge. And we perform it without attachment to the result. Now, initially, yes, I'm performing it because it is the order of Guru. But that is spiritual motivation. In the spiritual platform, on the spiritual platform, everyone is motivated by prema. they're realizing Krishna, and so they are performing upasana, worship, spontaneously. But us, sadhaka upasanas, we are worshipping Krishna with a sense of obligation to the order of the spiritual master, the order of the acharyas, and the order of Shastra. Krishna will say that, Tadvini Prita, Upadex Gandhi Te Jnanam, Jnaninas Tadvadasha, Sevaya. Inquire from Guru, but then serve his instructions. And it is that service to Guru in his instructions that is our spiritual motivation. We're no longer considering that I am acting for myself, rather I am acting for the spiritual master. Now this is the essence of upasana, worship. In this material world, we are all upasakas. We all want to worship. We worship Miss Universe. She's the most beautiful girl. So, she's beautiful. And then we worship strong people. Oh, that is Olympic champion. He can lift 400 kilos. And then we worship renounced people, people who are moralistic and give up this world. And we worship opulent people who are rich or who are kind or talented. They can sing and they can play instruments and so on. And we also worship people that are famous. And we also worship people that are full of knowledge. These are the 6 qualities of Bhagavan. But not understanding that Krishna is the embodiment of all these qualities, we're worshipping in the material world. We're worshipping, Krishna is the most beautiful, all right? He's the reservoir of all beauty. There's a story, Dadu. You remember Dadu? He used to give the mail.
Yes, yes.
So he attended a pandal in Calcutta. And Prabhupada gave a talk after the kirtan. And one man stood up and he said, "You're talking about Krishna, the Supreme Lord. But what about Sai Baba, Satya Sai Baba? You know the one with not the first one. Apparently he was a good sadhu, but the one that used to, bring golds out from here and there. I've seen the videos. But anyway, he said, Satya Baba, Sai Baba says he is God. So, what do you say? So Prabhupada looked and he said, in the Shastra, it says that the Supreme Lord is the reservoir of all beauty. Is Satya Sai Baba the reservoir of all beauty? So the man stood there. No, he's not. No, he's not Bhagavan. So Krishna, you see, people get fooled because, like I say, they don't have a higher understanding. Krishna is the condensed, Radha and Krishna, all the beauty condensed, expanded throughout the unlimited universe. That beauty is all focused in Radha Krishna. It's explained that Radharani, when she puts on ornaments, the ornaments become more beautiful because they're on her. It's not that she becomes more beautiful, the ornaments become more beautiful. Krishna is the most opulent person. It is explained that Krishna, he was playing the flute, and Lord Brahma was listening to the flute playing of Krishna, and he couldn't understand the raga. He couldn't understand the melodies that Krishna was just playing on the bank of the Jamuna. Krishna, the reservoir of all Shakti, So he is floating every universe. Look at these unlimited universes. This is just one. This is just one thing we see in the sky. This is just a little grain of sand in an unlimited creation. Krishna is surrounded by all the Ashtashakis, the Manjaris, unlimited gopis, but he's completely renounced from exploiting them. He sees them as objects of service. He is Gopi Jana Balabhaya. He is the beloved of the gopis, but he is also the lover of the gopis. Krishna is fame. God is famous everywhere. The Supreme Lord. Everyone knows that. Even if you're an atheist, you have the right idea. I don't believe in God. What is that definition that you don't believe in? I don't believe that there is a supreme personal creator of unlimited power. Oh, well, you have the right idea. You have the right idea of God. The only problem is you don't accept it. Asuram bhavam asrita. So he's the most famous, and knowledge, Krishna, is expanded through every part of the universe. Not only that, Achincha Beda Bed, all the creation is within Krishna. It is all within Krishna. His consciousness is not restricted. So knowledge in this context means cognizance, the ability to realize and understand and see correctly. So Krishna is Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. So if we have this understanding, and we also, like I mentioned last week, Radha and Krishna are one, but they've expanded into two eternally. Why? To enjoy the bliss of pastimes. So the reason of this whole creation is to expand the bliss of pastimes. This is the reason. And the people, the Supreme Lord is the unlimited reservoir of beauty, knowledge, strength, opulence, renunciation, fame and knowledge. So and through his generosity, he has expanded himself as unlimited Jiva Shakti to take part in this expansion of bliss, in this Leela. So if we have this conception of the Supreme Lord, then we become upasaka, we become worshipper. Because those little things in this material world that we worship, what are they in comparison to an eternally expanding personal Supreme Lord and his consort Radharani that are expanded as Balaram, Purusha Shakti, here, this, Mahavishnu. So this is the conception that is given by Srila Prabhupada, the Sad Goswami, the expanded from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. It's all in the Vedas there. So the first part of spiritual knowledge is to understand that, to realize the quality of the Supreme, and then to worship that instead of the material world. And who can worship? That is in the second verse of the Bhagavatam, Paramo Niyamatcharanam Satam. The devotees, they don't have envy of the Supreme Lord and his expanded ecstasy. They are entranced by it. So in the spiritual world, people are worshipping the Supreme Lord out of ecstatic love, out of ecstatic realization. So that vision of the absolute truth, we have to, and this unmotivated worship of the Supreme Lord, this is what we must keep in our consciousness, in our heart, when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then we will think of nothing else. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Any question?
So, if we follow what you just explained, then the result will be highest peace, happiness and bliss within.
Yes.
And it is not that we don't get anything.
Oh no, yes. But that doesn't become our goal.
No.
You see? Our goal, our constitutional nature is, we are Jiva Shakti. So we are under the shelter of Shakti Ma, Radharani. She is Shakti, Swarup Shakti Krishna. So yes, we emanate from Krishna. We have an element of Purusha because we emanate from Krishna. But we are meant to be Purusha of our consciousness. And that misapplication of Purusha, control of our consciousness, only operates in the material world, in ignorance. Once we realize the absolute truth, then we become entranced. And so Radharani is the Bhakti Devi, ultimate. She engages everyone in the service of Krishna. So that service is there. It is without motivation. It is there because of ecstatic love. In this material world, we see a young girl falls in love with a boy falls in love, and they love each other and they want to serve. They want to take care of each other. So this is the real nature of the soul. The real nature, deeper, it happens in the material world in a very paltry way, but the real nature of the soul is to love and be loved. Krishna is the beloved of the gopis, but he's also the lover of the gopis. So this reciprocation of love, that is the essence. And there is no consideration of what is my advantage. That is absent. Because everyone is Atmaram by nature. Krishna is Atmaram. And everyone is fully satisfied in their relationship with Krishna. And when we meditate on Krishna in this unmotivated way, we realize Krishna very easily. But if we meditate upon Krishna, we will come to that. Just as that verse in the Bhagavatam, akarma sarvakama muksha kama udaryadi trivrena bhakti yogena yajita purusham param. That whether you have all material desire or no material desire, or you desire liberation from material world, still you should worship the Supreme Lord. Because by that worship, you'll be purified. Just like Dhruva. Dhruva is the example we all know, right? Dhruva Maharaj wanted a big kingdom. So he went to the forest, he performed worship of Vasudeva. But once he realized Vasudeva, he didn't bother about the kingdom. So this is the important point. Don't worship the demigods, Rita Gyan. Worship the Supreme Lord, even if you're motivated. So at the beginning, yes, we want happiness, bliss, we want freedom from the material world. Yes, and this is natural, because we're not come to Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. We're not in this realization of our Swarup. We're still coming out of the material world. We're still thinking, what can I get out of this Krishna consciousness, out of japa? But we should understand the best way to chant is without that motivation, but just for the pleasure of Krishna. That's the meaning of yajna. Chant our sadhana, our regulative principles, our study of the Shastra, for the pleasure of the Guru, you see. It is not This is the proper understanding of sadhaka. He's worshipping through following the order of Guru. But even if that motivation is there, oh, I don't like the material world, I want liberation, oh, I want to go to heavenly planets, still he's on the right path. Because he's approaching Krishna. So eventually he'll become purified. Akarma, savakama, mukshakama, udariyadi. So therefore, Prabhupada in one purport in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says that even the sahajiyas with the wrong conception, still we should respect them because they've got the wrong conception of sadhana, but still they are devotees. So the devotee is non-envious, not of the Supreme Lord, but of everyone. He's non-envious. Dhira, Jana Priyo, the 6 Goswamis, they were beloved of the fools and rascals also, because they're not envious. They realize, yes, these people are in illusion, they don't have the right Siddhanta, but they're part and parcel of Krishna, and they're on the path. So the material energy naturally frustrates the living entity. So the material energy is constructed in a way so that all the spirit souls eventually become renounced. So even though it's said here, Krishna says, Arjuna, you can go to heaven if you perform your duty. That may be a motivation, right? Material motivation. Okay, I'll do my duty for you, Krishna. I fancy going to heaven. Indra, all those beautiful apsaras. But I'm doing my duty. I'm doing seva. So that will purify me. Like Dhruva Maharaj. Oh, Krishna, I was looking for broken glass. I wanted a big kingdom, but now I've found a jewel, a diamond, right? So our problem is that we have not fully understood that Radha and Krishna, that Gaunitai, their worship, that Krishna is such a diamond. You understand? So that realization comes the more we become unenvious. So the start of losing our envy of the supremacy of Krishna is to understand, as the Bhagavatam starts, Janmadi Asyata. We are existing, why? Because of the generosity of Krishna, right? If somebody is a good son or a good daughter, they love their parents. Go, oh, my parents, they're my source, talking materially. I love my mum and dad because they brought me into existence. So we have to apply that to Krishna. We are all existing, why? Because Krishna created us. He could have not created us, right? Every single one of us, every spirit soul in the universe, Krishna created us and he gave us a constitutional nature, Swarup. He gave that. So we're existing. We should be, that's a wonderful thing. I'd rather exist and have the potency to live eternally in the spiritual world than not exist. Right? That's nihilism, that's the Buddhistic idea. Oh, there's suffering, so we should try to non-exist. Yes, go ahead.
So, in Sanatana Dharma, Krishna is Sanatana, we are Sanatana. Krishna is eternal, we are both eternal. And Mumai Vamshaji, Krishna created us. So, was there a point where Krishna created us, or we have always been existing?
Yeah, this is a common question, this. You know, Krishna is eternal, and he's the creator. So that means he existed before us, right? Well, on the spiritual platform, there's no time. So once you're created within eternality, you've always existed. Do you understand? Yeah, there's no time factor. You understand? everything that is created within eternality is above time. It's an illusory function, Kala Shakti. We are seeing the world in terms of past, present and future. So when we hear, you're a learned man, we think of Krishna as the creator. Then we think, oh, he created me at some time. At some time. No, but Krishna doesn't create within time. He creates above time. Huh? You understand?
Yes.
So everything that Krishna does is not conditioned. So by creating us, we are unconditioned. Our nature is to be unconditioned by material time. In the spiritual world, there is progression of Leela, but time is not a dominating factor. In the material world, we're dominated by time, right? Oh, I have to be on time. I have to have time to cook. I have to have time to rest. Time is an absolute. Kalosmi aham. It is evidence of the absolute. But in the spiritual world, time is a servant. If Krishna wants, and this is illustrated in the Bhagavatam, they were having a great Ras Leela. So then Krishna expanded the night in the time to the period of one day of Brahma, which is millions of years within one night. So time, spiritual time. Also Krishna, he has unlimited devotees, and he's playing the flute on the bank of the Jamuna, but every devotee can sit next to Krishna. Because time and space and distance are servants of Leela there. Here they dominate us. We can only get, say, 100 people in this room comfortably, because we're confined by time and space. So we have this material conditioning. But Swayam eva spuryada. The transcendental world is above, Atak Shri Krishna Namadi, is above the material conception. Therefore, it is realized through spirit. It is realized by the grace of Krishna. Krishna reveals himself. He reveals the spiritual world. And that is achintya. Therefore, the philosophy of the Vedas, achintya, Veda Ved. Krishna is beyond material conception. But he is realized by his grace. So spiritual time and creation and the nature of the spiritual world, that is revealed to the devotee by Krishna, by Guru, by Sadhu and Shastra. Hint is given in the Bhagavatam, in the writing, the commentary of the great sages. But it is revealed not through intellect, but through the mercy of... Therefore, the Vaishnavas always pray, oh, Shri Chaitanya Daya Koro More, Toma Vina Ke Dayalu. Please give me the mercy to realize, you see. So that desire is spiritual.
Thank
You understand? So we are eternal because Krishna creates eternality, and eternality is his plaything. So he can create and make you eternal above time with no effort. This is the absolute truth. It's completely unconditioned by logic, time, space, understanding. The absolute truth is free of any... That's why absolute, if you look in the dictionary, absolute, many definitions there, but they're always independent, unconditioned, free of dependency upon any principle. absolute. What Krishna decides, that is the absolute. That is the truth. So, how to go back to the spiritual world? How to attain realization of Krishna? You just have to do one thing. Convince Krishna to give you realization. Once Krishna, you see, he's unrestricted, Kriya Shakti. He can do anything. So if he thinks, I want to enlighten Ramcharan, immediately he's absolute. Whatever his desire is, that will take place. Krishna desires in his Kriya Shakti, creates the material spiritual world. It's the Kriya Shakti. So if once Krishna thinks this is a good idea, bang, comes into existence. So sadhana bhakti is a way of convincing Krishna to take us back to the spiritual platform. You see the point? And now Krishna, his qualities are unlimited. So his mercy, which is the most important quality for the conditioned soul, Doya, Lord Chaitanya, is unlimited. So he's ready. Who will he give his mercy to? Whoever wants it. It's as simple as that. If you pray to Krishna and say, give me your mercy, I want your mercy, Krishna will think, have it. He's not mean-spirited. He's not some billionaire trying to avoid the taxman. You want the mercy, Krishna will give it. But particularly, it's explained in the Shastra, if you want to get the mercy, you please his pure devotees, particularly his Uttamadhikaris, his Shastra. How to please? How do you please Srila Prabhupada? Read his book. It's as simple as that, right? Yeah? Yeah, apply it. Read his book, right? 9 ways of pleasing Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. So the devotee, he follows all the sadhana and as an offering to Krishna. I'm a little spirit soul sitting under the tree chanting. This is my offering. Krishna accepts it. Ye tam mam prapadyante. So therefore it's very important to not pursue devotional service, upasana, in a mechanical way. It's our offering. You understand? We're not just, I'm not saying this is any one of you, but we are doing the bhajan of Krishna, the worship of Krishna, consciously. Yeah, premanjana bhakti. We are thinking, I'll do this for the pleasure of Guru. Just like Prabhupada, going to America preaching for the pleasure of his Guru. And it's in the Shastra there, sadhanam hridayam tvaham. The sadhu is the heart of Krishna. So if you please the heart of Krishna, where is your problem? Right? How do you please the sadhu? You read his book, try to put it into practice. But you must have this confidence, you understand? That's Shraddha. Shraddha means that. If I pursue this, I will get the result. Ye tam mam prapadyante. Krishna will bless me. If I follow a Ekadashi nicely, Krishna will bless me. Instead of just following a Ekadashi mechanically, the temple don't give us chapatis on Ekadashi, so I have to follow it. No, you think, I'm going to follow Ekadashi and chant some extra rounds as an offering to Krishna. Like Prabhupada says, the parrot may chant Hare Krishna, but does he it's just making a sound. So devotional service is sharpened by knowledge and intention. So we just meditate on Krishna and we think, wow, Krishna is expanding ecstasy, Radha and Krishna. The interchange between Radha and Krishna is the cause of creation. And I am constitutionally a part of that ecstasy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So let us keep that in our mind next time we chant. We're servants of the ecstasy of Radha and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sadhu Sangha ki jai. So thank you all for attending class.